There have been tales of secretive monks who claim to possess knowledge of the future. These enigmatic figures, often shrouded in mystery and legend, have appeared in various cultures and religious traditions. Whether they were Buddhist sages, Christian mystics, or members of hidden esoteric orders, their alleged foresight has fascinated and unsettled societies for centuries. Many have speculated about their sources of knowledge: divine revelation, deep meditation, or even lost sciences from ancient civilizations. But what happened to these monks, and why did their prophecies fade into obscurity? One of the earliest known accounts of prophetic monks comes from ancient Tibet. The monks of the legendary Shangri-La, a mystical monastery hidden in the Himalayas, were said to possess sacred texts that revealed the fate of the world. These texts, known as the Scrolls of Time, were supposedly written in an unknown script that only the most enlightened monks could decipher. According to Tibetan folklore, the monks could gaze into the Akashic records, an ethereal archive that contained every event in past, present, and future. These monks warned of great wars, the rise and fall of empires, and even environmental disasters. However, in the 19th century, reports of the monastery suddenly ceased. Some believed that the monks, sensing an imminent catastrophe, withdrew from the world entirely, vanishing into hidden sanctuaries where they could continue their work undisturbed. Similarly, in medieval Europe, stories circulated about Christian monks who had the gift of foresight. One of the most famous examples was the Benedictine monk Johannes Friede, who in the 13th century predicted the rise of devastating technological warfare and environmental upheavals. His visions, recorded in obscure Latin manuscripts, described metal birds filling the skies, great towers crumbling, and the seas turning black with poison. Scholars of later centuries interpreted these descriptions as eerily accurate predictions of aerial warfare and industrial pollution. Friede's writings were suppressed by the Church, possibly out of fear that his revelations would challenge the established religious order. Some believe that a secret sect within the Benedictine order preserved his teachings in hidden vaults beneath ancient monasteries, waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to understand them. The idea of monks who could foresee the future also appears in Eastern Orthodox Christianity. In the Byzantine era, a monastic order known as the Hesychasts practiced extreme asceticism and deep meditation, seeking divine visions. Some members were said to have received prophecies about the empire's decline and the eventual conquest of Constantinople by the Ottomans. One particularly famous monk, Elder Joseph of Mount Athos, allegedly wrote letters warning that an empire to the west would rise and dominate the world through technological means. These letters, preserved in monastic archives, were dismissed by contemporary scholars, but have gained renewed interest in recent years as historians re-examine the lost wisdom of the Hesychasts. In the Islamic world, Sufi mystics also claimed to possess knowledge of the future. Among them was the 12th century Andalusian philosopher and theologian Ibn Arabi, often called the Great Sheikh. He spoke of cycles of human civilization, predicting that after an age of great knowledge, there would be a period of darkness before a new enlightenment dawned. Some of his followers, known as the Hidden Ones, were rumored to have preserved his teachings and continued his work in secrecy. Over time, these mystical Sufis reportedly vanished from public view, either because they were persecuted or because they chose to retreat into isolation, waiting for the right moment to reintroduce their wisdom to the world. Another remarkable case of prophetic monks is found in China, where Taoist sages and Buddhist monks engaged in esoteric practices that purportedly granted them visions of the future. One of the most intriguing figures was Master Zhu, a Ming Dynasty monk who recorded a series of predictions about China's fate. He foresaw the fall of the Qing dynasty, the rise of foreign powers, and even described something resembling modern-day surveillance technology. The imperial court took his prophecies seriously and sought to suppress them, fearing they could inspire rebellion. Some accounts suggest that Master Ju's followers were forced into exile, with the remaining monks disappearing into remote mountain caves, where they continued their traditions in secrecy. The idea that monks could foresee the future has deep philosophical implications. Were these monks truly capable of glimpsing events yet to unfold, or were their visions metaphorical interpretations of human history's cyclical nature? Some scholars argue that their foresight stemmed from deep meditative practices that allowed them to perceive patterns in human behavior and societal development. By understanding the rhythms of history, these monks may have extrapolated future trends with astonishing accuracy. So what happened to these monks? And why did their knowledge not survive into mainstream historical discourse? Several possibilities exist. One theory is that their revelations were deliberately erased by authorities who feared that knowledge of the future would destabilize society. Another possibility is that these monks themselves chose secrecy, recognizing that humanity was not yet ready for such information. In some cases, their teachings may have been misinterpreted, lost in translation, or absorbed into other traditions, making them unrecognizable in their original form. Yet there are whispers that remnants of these monastic orders still exist today, hidden in the shadows of modern civilization. Some believe that deep within isolated monasteries in the Himalayas, the mountains of Greece, or the caves of Central Asia, monks still guard ancient knowledge of the future. If these secret monks do indeed exist, perhaps they are waiting for a time when humanity will be ready to heed their warnings and use their knowledge wisely. Until then, their fate remains one of history's greatest mysteries.